Welcome to qnawire.
Okay, so I want to write a sine or cosine function. I've just picked off a piece of the graph that I think makes it easy to see. So I'm going to use a cosine function. I'll just put a T here. It could be any letter. Actually, let's make it a C. Let's be consistent. So what are these letters? What do I need for my function? Well, A is my amplitude, B is my frequency, and C is my vertical shift. Okay, so let's take this apart. First thing I notice is my low point on my graph is at -6. My high point on my graph is at +2. So between those two values, there are 8 units. And I know that this graph has a midline. This graph has a line that kind of splits the graph into equal parts above and below. So that's going to be halfway between 2 and -6. So that's going to be 4 units from either of them. That's going to put me right here at -2. You'd be like, well, why do I want that? A couple things. It's your vertical shift. Okay, so I know my vertical shift is going to be down 2. Right? I can add that in at the end here. That's my vertical shift. It also allows me to clearly see the amplitude. So from that midline, 4 units up, 4 units down, my A value is going to be 4. Okay, how do I get frequency? Because now I have the A part of my formula and the C part of my formula. I just need B. Well, period of a sine or cosine function is 2 pi over the frequency. So I can rewrite that formula and say then frequency is 2 pi over period, right? Multiply both sides by frequency, then divide both sides by period. So when I look at this graph, I see this whole function from 0 to 6. So that means the period of this function is 6. So that tells me the frequency of this function is 2 pi over 6. The frequency is pi over 3. That's my B value. Okay, so let's put it together and write the function. We have one more thing to add. So I know my amplitude is 4. I know my frequency is pi over 3. And I know I'm going down 2 to that midline. But if you put this into an app or whatever, you're not going to see that graph. Why? Because your cosine usually starts at its highest point. In this case, your cosine is starting at its lowest point. That means you're reflecting it, and you need a negative in front. There's your function.